Okay, it's 5:30 in the morning and we're going to Romania and then we're going to Croatia. And I just wanted to try and give like a kind of a snapshot of what a travel day looks like for us because it's kind of interesting. It's a not so beautiful rainy day to start our trip. We're somewhere in Ukraine. I don't know where, but we're getting close to the border, and I think we've been driving for about 6 hours, maybe longer. We had a little detour this morning. We needed to go pick something up, and it just ended up not working out, and we spent way more time doing that than we should have. Here we are. It's now in the middle of the afternoon, and we're gonna roll into our little Airbnb at like 10 o'clock. Which is not horrible, but I also want to try and get up early and keep going because we've got a long drive tomorrow as well.
That. Yeah, you just don't want to come in late and then have to get up early and keep driving. I think tomorrow's truck is going to be a little bit more stressful and long because we've never done it before.
Yeah, we stopped at a little burger house called Burger House, and it was surprisingly good.
The fries were so yummy. I haven't had really good fries here. Or, you know, like you get bad fries a couple times and you're just, no, I'm just going to pass on the fries. So they were really yummy. And their burgers options were like regular burgers and then Tejas burgers, which is how they say Texas.
Anyways, we got a delicious lunch, and then we stopped and we got some gas station snacks, which is always like a road trip comfort food. I don't know why. It's like the nastiest stuff, but
too.
It's like something about road trips. You're just like, I'll allow it this time. And we're really excited to get to Romania.
I'm so excited.
We're hoping we don't have any problems at the border. You never know. There's always a risk. I'm gonna give you a travel tip. This one's for free. If you're traveling by car in Ukraine or Europe, the Waze app is the way to go. It's thebomb.com. Sometimes it takes you down dirt roads, but in general, it's great. It helps you avoid traffic, and most importantly, it tells you the speed limit in kilometers, which our car does, but it's a lot harder to see. And it gives you updated speed limit information. So you always know what speed is the speed limit, and you always know how fast you're going. It's actually a very nice little tool.
It will also alert you when there's potholes on the road, or if there's construction ahead, or police.
And we'll keep you guys updated as we get further along. Well, the plot thickens. We made it all the way to our apartment. There are 3 little apartments in here. None of them are being occupied. Our guy said that he would send us the code, and we got here and he hasn't sent us the code, and I didn't realize that because we were driving all day. Oh my goodness. So all I have to do is crack the code to one of these lock boxes and then we can get in and go to sleep. But until then, like, we're locked out of our apartment, and we came all this way, and we're just gonna end up like sleeping in the car or something. This sucks. It's turned into quite the situation. Future Tim here. I'm currently editing this video, and I'm realizing that there's a lot of plot holes in this story. So let me clear this up. What happened was, we got all the way to the Ukrainian border. They turned us away because we didn't have the proper car insurance, which has never happened before. So we went and we got the proper car insurance, which was a huge ordeal because everything was closed because it was a Sunday. So finally we get across the border. It's way later than we thought we would be across the border, and we still have like 5 hours to go. So we pull into our Romanian Airbnb, which you just saw, at like 2 in the morning. It was nuts. So we ended up driving another 2 hours to a bigger town, and we just slept in the car. And it was awful. It was like the worst night's sleep that either of us have ever got. So the next day we just got up and kept driving, heading towards Budapest. And then from Budapest, we were going to go into Croatia. Up a little gas before we cross one more border. It's funny, it just keeps getting more and more expensive. Like gas keeps getting more and more expensive. So we're like fill up in Ukraine before we cross, and then fill up in Romania before we cross into Hungary. But yeah, we're getting close. We're probably 30 minutes from the border, and we're gonna try and go through Hungary. But it's a little unsure what's gonna happen with that, because last I saw they were not really letting people through. They were giving mixed signals. Like parts of the website were saying, oh, people can come finally, and then other parts were saying, oh, we're not letting anybody through. So we're gonna try. We'll see what happens. So there we were at the Romanian-Hungarian border, not really sure if they were going to let us across, because a lot of the things were saying Hungary wasn't letting anybody through, even by car. And then some parts of the website were like, well, yeah, but you can come through if you're coming from this certain area or whatever. So it was really confusing. So we were just like, let's go and we'll see what happens. They let us across. And we were so close to Budapest, and we weren't sure if we were ever going to come back through this area. We just said, hey, why not?
Look at the building.
Guess where we're at. Budapest. We've only been here for like 5 minutes, but it's very cool so far.
We just left Budapest. I'm not even sure I have words for it. It has been a lifelong dream of mine to go to Budapest, and we just drove to Budapest. It's crazy. It feels like such a foreign thing, and like, oh, you need to get on a plane and plan a trip and, you know, get an Airbnb or a hotel and like make a whole event out of it. But it's also so simple. Like you can
just swung by.
Yeah, swing on by. Swing by Budapest. I don't know.
It's so weird.
Amazing. I love the big cities, and it was just so cool to get to drive through it and see all the old architecture and the bridge. I just want to like be there for so long and explore it all. But Croatia awaits us, so we're on our way there, hoping to arrive at our Airbnb within the next like 5 hours, but we'll see. It'll probably be midnight.
She's asleep in there. She won't wake up. Laura, can you let me in? She's got her headphones in. So over 30 hours after we left Ukraine, we get to the Croatian border, and they were the only border who actually asked for any sort of COVID verification, negative test or vaccine passport or anything. All the other ones, they didn't even care, which was kind of surprising. But we get to the border, they let us through. We go to our apartment. It is the middle of the night. Like, we have been up for almost 2 days straight at this point. Just complication after complication. Even though we tried to like break it up, like, oh, we'll go to an Airbnb, we finally, after all of that, we finally made it to our Airbnb in Croatia. After 2 days of traveling, we made it. Days and days and days of traveling, and
Going on 42 hours.
it was slight PTSD when we got here because she said there was a lockbox, but she didn't like say what the code was. And then I looked further back in the messages, and there was a code.
So how do we lock the door?
This wraps up our crazy adventure. This was probably the craziest journey that we've ever done since we arrived here.
We've been in these clothes for 3 days. And we haven't slept in a bed
In almost 48 hours. So there was the adventure. Almost 2 days of driving, so many complications, but we finally made it to Croatia. And here's just like a short little montage of our apartment that we were staying in and a little bit of what we saw right after we got to Croatia. Y'all, thanks for watching. I'm already working on our next vlog. It happens in Croatia. We find this, it's like an abandoned mining factory or something like that. And we hiked up to it and we explored it, and it was really interesting. And also, it's sitting right on the water of like the most beautiful little like bay area. It's so beautiful. So I'll drop that one soon. I don't know when exactly, but I'm working on it. So stay tuned. We'll see you later.